He's about as good as it gets. He's a purist. He's always got great balance, a wonderful arm swing, and very talented with his hand too. I've seen him do some different things with his hand.
Such an easy style.
Yeah, it is. Both of these players are very big players. They're not the likes of a Norm Duke. They're both appear to be 6 foot tall. And Mika, we call the Big Fin, starts out with a ringing 10. Good shot, though, on that right leg.
Yeah, I was right with his gold medals in the World Championships. It was in 2003 in Malaysia. He had gold in the team and in the doubles. 9 spare for Mika in the first frame. So Martin Larsson working on a strike. Mika Kuvanimi working on a spare.
As I watch Mika wipe the oil off of his ball, I've had people ask me, should I wipe the oil off my ball? You won't see all players wipe the oil off of their ball, and I'll tell you why if you're watching back home, because sometimes when that oil's on your ball, where it is allows the ball to skid through the heads. But harder players that go a lot straighter, you'll see them wipe the oil off the ball every single time. Looks like you should have left the oil on that one to get it to skid a little more.
Yeah, nasty 4, 6, 7, 10 leave there for Mika.
Drops him back to 16 in the first frame. You know, Brian, I've never seen this split picked up in all my 50 years in bowling.
I've seen it picked up a few times clean. I've seen it picked up where guys get really mad and throw it like that and bounce it out, but we're not going to see it today.
I hope we don't see another one of those today.
Well, once again, folks, back home, the characteristics of the lane. Lane 5 hooks more than lane 6. Lane 6 you got to be a little more precise on. Don't leak it to the right. It won't make it back.
That drops Mika back to 24 in the second frame. And guess what?
Beautiful shot. That's what you're supposed to do. When your opponent goes up there and leaves a hole like that, you want to jump right on it. 2 beautiful shots.
I mean, the strikes are more solid in this game than they were in the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larsson appearing to be more locked in as he goes on. He's found his shot, he's staying with it. The lane isn't changing too much for him. He hasn't moved hardly at all in the previous game and this one.
He's resetting 5 a couple of times. Maybe he thinks his 5 pins a little bit off spot.
Well, players with a lot of experience can look at how those pins come down and know whether it's advantageous to go ahead and bowl against it. Oops.
Oh, there's a wobbling 10 pin.
Yeah, 9 and a wiggle. So it brings it back to 29 in the first frame.
And somewhat of a pleasant sigh from Mika. You don't want to see those lucky hits go down like that. Dig yourself an even bigger hole. And as you see, all really good players, they'll either choose a take a very hard bowling ball and roll it hard. But all of them tend to roll it a lot faster and a lot harder at single pin spares or other spares.
Have you ever watched Oscar Palermo pick up the 10 pin?
Well, it's not a style contest. Oscar is very unique in how he does it. I get hurt just thinking about how hard he throws it.
Well, I'd like to measure how far back from the pit the pin setter is after he's shot at a few 10 pins.
Yeah, I have to think proprietors wince when they see these players like that shoot at spares.
Ah, Maker's in the zone now. So 24 in the second frame, but working on a strike. Martin Larsson is 49 in the second frame, working on a spare.
Yeah, Mika will look to double up now to show Larsson that he is in the game. It's quite an important ball for him actually at this early stage.
Well, after a shot like the big four, you've really got to assess two things. Was it the lane or was it me? And if it was me, how bad was my bad shot? Because a lot of times you can still get lined up off of a bad shot as long as it wasn't a terrible bad shot. But I would think regardless, he's going to be moving left.
Taking his time. Once again, heavy on the headpin and leaves the 610. Has Mika always lofted the ball?
Always. Ever since I've known Mika, he has always lofted the ball. He's such a big guy, he can't help but loft it.
Yeah, one of the few people I interview have to look straight in the face.
All right, Mika a little upset with himself now. You know, you feel like you've got ample practice on a particular lane. You get lined up, and then when the lights come on, boy, oh boy, what am I doing?
He bowled so well today. He murdered everybody in the second final and rolled 240 average. His 4 games in the semi-finals, 228, 274, 237 and 223.
He's been leading all day, from what I can recall.
Oh, he's been #1 from both squads today.
It's just a continuation of what a phenomenal year he's had.
The 210 stood for a while, and then a friendly pin came across, took the 10 pin away.
Well, the benefits of good ball speed, you get those pins to fly off the wall a little bit more, less splits, more strikes. Fortunate enough just to leave the 2 pin. Spare here, we'll have a 24 pin match.
That's a spare for Martin, gives him 68 in the third frame. Third frame for Mika, he is 44. So your mathematician has taught you well, Brian.
Well, I tell you what, you know, when you grew up in the days that we did, Keith, you and I, and Andy probably, we learned how to keep score, and you really, nowadays with computers and everything, you know, people, yeah, they don't think it's quite as important, but we kept score. And it looks like another lazy 10 pin.
Yeah, it was indeed that lazy 10 pin.
The messenger came across, but way in front of the 10.
The messenger got the wrong address.
Well, nonetheless, he keeps his count at 7, 87 in the fourth frame. Mika's at 54, and count is always important. Good spare there. As Martin is at the halfway point, shooting currently at a 207 pace. Mika at a 184 pace. Needs to find the left lane, but don't lose the right.
Well, just before the final, I asked them to give us a master class.
A master class?
Yeah.
Was that in bowling or commentary?
Bowling. Tighter this one.
Beautiful shot.
Back to 64 in the fourth frame now. So that's lane 6 sorted. 2 strikes on there. A 9 spare and 2 strikes on lane 6, but a split and a spare on lane 5.
You know, as much success as Mika's had this year, it's still, you know, for a lot of players, he had a very good, monetary-wise, he had an outstanding year. He probably made close to $500,000. But it's a pride thing. It's a pride thing. You want to keep winning. You want everybody to know that you are the man. You're the guy to beat. But if he's going to get that done, he's going to have to make a little better shot on this left lane.
That's a double.
Well, that sends a message to Martin that he's back in the match. Got that ball well on the lane, probably 5 or 6 feet on the lane.
I think the last time I did a commentary on Mika in a final was in Singapore when he won the Singapore Open.
Beautiful shot.
Well, take that, says Mr. Larson, to bring him 107 in the 5th. And if Mika can strike, it would give him 94 in the 5th. So it's getting a little bit tighter.
You know, you always want to leave your opponent a message. In other words, if Martin strikes here, he'll be at a 2:17 pace, and Mika could go up there and throw the next 2, but he's still behind. Now, should Martin not strike, and this is the wonderful thing about stringing strikes in a row, if he should not strike, Mika can go up there and throw 2 in a row and take the lead. So it's really important that you keep the momentum, keep focused, and stay in the lead.
Here's a good one. Ooh, 9. A 9-pin.
Didn't expect to see a 9-pin left from Larson today.
Yeah, before he left the 8-pin on that lane.
Well, I'm sure that was somewhat of a surprise. I do know that and I'm not just saying that, folks. I do know that when he let go of that, he was begging for that ball to just slide a little bit longer. You could kind of see it in his mannerisms. But nonetheless, make the spare, and he'll still be ahead by 13 pins, which he does.
127 in the 6. 7 over.
Mika's been very good on this lane. And you know, the characteristics of the lane tend to kind of die out a little bit after you've had some play on it, because you get a little more traction where the fellows have been playing, so you won't see that hang on the right lane quite as much as you did early on in the match.
He's standing way left.
He couldn't stand way left of him, in fact. He's right on the ball return. I'm happy with that leave, which is a 7-pin.
Yeah, he did think all pins were going that time, though.
Well, it certainly had a chance to strike. You know, just didn't quite get lucky, but you're not supposed to get lucky all the time. When you make a less than perfect shot, you're supposed to get 9 once in a while. With a spare heel, he'll be 14 pins behind, working at a 193 pace. Oh.
And he misses a 7-pin. That is a crime. 121 in the 7th, and I think we can put Martin Larson on the podium.
Something strange will have to happen now for that to not be the case.
missing spares. They